Guys, today I'm going to get back on the AT-1 Yamaha conversion to the CT-1, and still waiting on some parts for the engine. So I thought in the meantime, and I can't paint yet either, so in the meantime I'm going to work on this armature and replace the wires. They're all hard and crusty and been cut off up here, but I believe everything is good down here on the stator itself. So primarily what I'm going to be doing is disconnecting, unsoldering here and reconnecting new wires. I've got them already cut and the proper colors. So all I've got to do is unsolder these, resolder them, run them through a new casing. And I did, when I first started doing, or going to start thinking about doing this, I bought a used wiring harness, and this is in really good shape. It hasn't been clipped or anything. So these are the wires right here that these are going to hook to. So I can tell right away that I need looks like 4 females on this end and 1 male. So that would be these right here. So that's what I've got to hook up to. So everything looks pretty good on this wiring harness, because everything that we're doing here is we've kind of got to redo because it's 6 volt instead of 12 volt. So let me get on with this. I'm gonna start cutting the sheathing off, and I've kind of already started here at the bottom. It's just so hard and brittle. And this stuff actually does. We don't care about the wires, so you can just kind of cut it with a razor blade and then snap it, and it just comes off pretty easy. Really don't have to take it off, but makes it easier to see the colors and all that good stuff. So we'll take it off. Of course, this is usually good for a good finger slice too, so try to avoid that. There's that. So all that's off. And we've got to pay attention to this wire here. This is the blue one, solid blue, and this is going to be the neutral safety switch. So it's going to come out of the sheathing right here. So let me get some sheathing cut and we'll get back on it here. Alright, I got my sheathing cut here, and what you've got to do is you got to figure out where that's going to exit the sheathing, and it looks like just right about there. And you're going to go in with an awl here. Try not to poke your finger. I'm going to try real hard not to poke my finger. Okay, there we go. Now we can take that blue wire and we can poke that in there. Maybe easier said than done. Got a hole there, but it's not wanting to cooperate. There we go. So that's going to go on up to the top. So here's our what goes to the stator. So the blue wire We'll go up and we'll just have a little bit sticking out here for it. I know it looks green here, but if you follow it on up, it's blue. Where it was exposed to light, it's turned kind of green. All right, so we'll go with that. And then the other 4 wires need to go down the sheathing, and that can be tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little root glide. I use this, it's kind of what you use for slicking up tires and before you put them on a rim. They've got other stuff for that these days too, but I'm just going to shoot some of that down the tube there. And I'll put a little on them. I'm probably not going to make you watch all this because it does get a little frustrating. Looks like it might be working a little better than it normally does. This is pretty tight. It's slowing down now. I'm down to just about where that wire is. Just got to keep at it. They like to bunch up too. It looks like we're going. All right. And I'm about to lose my blue wire there, so I want to pull that thing back up. All right. We'll take the clamp loose. See if we can get access to our wires there. I think this is actually shrink wrap of some sort. The TC Suzuki that we did, it had the sleeving that you could just pull back and put back on. Looks like I'm going to have to cut this off and reapply it. Just put some shrink wrap on. Okay, what I've done is I've gone ahead with the razor blade and just cut the shrink wrap back. And the one wire, this black one, it goes straight on up to the condenser. But I'm going to go ahead and splice it here also the same way, just so I don't have to remove it from the condenser. Everything else looks like it's in pretty good shape, except it needs a wick there. Even the points look almost brand new. So that's what I'm going to do there, and I'll just do one of these at a time so I don't get them mixed up. And let's see here, this is our bottom part because it's got our pigtail on it for this neutral safety switch. And I think I'm going to do this green with the red tracer first. Oops. Because these are all coming off of basically solid wires here. Get that one out of the way. Need a smaller well, first thing we want to do here is to get our shrink wrap. I think I'm going to have to pull these out just a little bit. Get that on first. Pretty tedious work. Ah. Okay. Just going to go through this one, and then all the rest of them will be the same. It's not one to. I'm going to have to get some flux. When wires get old like that, they need a little help. There. I believe we got it. This is what I just hate. The shrink wrap starts to seal up here before you're ready for it. So I'll have to cut that loose now. Alright, I got that cut off. And we'll just Jeez. There she goes. All right. And we'll give that a little heat. There we go. All good. And we'll just continue on with the rest of them one at a time. All right, got all those fastened and shrink wrapped. And we'll get this clamp back on. There we go. And finish stripping these wires. All right, we need the one. I made a note here. Need a male on the blue one. The rest of them are female. So we slide our little insulator up there. Put this in the correct slot. And there's our male. And on this end it gets a little ring. Oops. Back in there. There's her ring. And on the females, slide your big insulator onto it. And your female terminal, get it loaded in. I think I let that slide in a little too far. I'm going to check it with an ohm meter and make sure it's okay. And the rest of them are just the same. Yep, looks like everything's okay. So we just keep going. And that should, once I get these other two terminals on, everything should be ready to go as far as our rewire. Everything's out of the way of the spinning in there. So there's our completed harness. got our grommet on, got our pigtails all on, all our shrink wrap. Everything should be good to go. And what's really cool, it's all flexible again. So anyway, there's a little wiring update, and I'm sure that nobody really needs to watch me wire this, but it's just part of the job, and it seems like it's always part of the job, if you know what I mean, on these bikes. Somebody always cuts the wires. I was very fortunate to get the wiring harness that apparently nobody had cut, so I'm happy about that. So if you could give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. If you can give me a subscription, that'd be great if you have already. Thank you very much, and thanks for going along on the ride. See you next video.